Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, to Hifas Terra webinar. Today we'll be talking about what medicinal mushrooms can do for you in episodes of stress or periods of stress, and we will show you how to support your adrenals through the holidays. So let me introduce myself. My name is Linda Sims, and I am one of the practitioner account managers in Hifas Terra. I'm also a nutritional therapist, and I lecture nutrition at CNM, the College of Naturopathic Medicine. Just to give you a bit of my background when it comes to mushrooms, I come from the Czech Republic, and in Czech Republic we are very passionate about foraging, and we forage mushrooms sort of every summer and autumn, and I've done that since I was a little girl. So we get up in the morning, like at 6 in the morning, to get to the forest before anybody else to pick the best and the biggest mushrooms, and you guard your favorite spots in the forest with, it's a secret. You don't really tell anybody where you found your mushrooms. So I've always been passionate about mushrooms, but it took me a few years, well, it took me a few decades to actually discover that they're not just food, but they have amazing medicinal properties. And I'm absolutely passionate about mushrooms. And I'm hoping that after this webinar, you're going to feel the same, and you will find passion for mushrooms and to use them in your own practice. And you're going to get some more confidence how to use them in your practice. So I'll switch the video off and we'll go to our presentation. Okay. So let's have a look at the syllabus of today's evening. We'll be looking at the introduction to Hifas Terra and Mycotherapy. We'll look at the effect of stress on our health. We'll discuss winter season challenges, so colds, flu, stresses, adrenal stress, anything that really affects you during the holidays. And we'll talk about mushrooms. So how can mushrooms help you during the winter? How can mushrooms help you with stress and with immune support? So mycotherapy really is a study of mushrooms, of using extracts of mushrooms and compounds in the mushrooms as medicines or health promoting agents. So mycotherapy may be quite a new term, but mushrooms have been used for their medicinal properties for millennia. Some of the first evidence we have is from the Stone Age. You might have heard of Otzi, the Stone Age Iceman, who was found carrying mushrooms. And one of the mushrooms that he carried with him was a polyphorous mushroom that was found to be very efficient in killing whipworm parasites. And actually they found these particular parasite in Otzi's body. So Otzi already knew that the mushrooms were, he knew how potent mushrooms were for their medicinal properties. So nowadays, we are catching up with Otzi and also with the wisdom of traditional medicine in China and Japan. So many of our top-selling pharmaceuticals are actually derived from mushrooms. About 40% of Western medicines nowadays use mushrooms. So you all know about antibiotics, but also statins such as lovastatin and simvastatin are derived from mushrooms. In Japan, polysaccharides from Coriolis mushrooms have been approved since 1984 as an integrative therapy for digestive cancers. And there are so many clinical trials happening as we speak. There are actually clinical trials that Hifas Terra are involved with in cancer and metabolic syndrome. There are many clinical trials coming from China, Japan, but also from the United States, where they have been approved by FDA. So you can see clinical trials on turkey mushrooms and cancer from Bastyr University and others. So we are catching up, and I believe that the next year really will be the year of the mushroom. So mushrooms have many therapeutic properties. When you look at the list, I mean, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antimicrobial, antiviral, anti-allergic, anti-diabetic, anti-tumor. These are the properties that you really would expect from supplements that you use in your practice. So every day, you know, when we see our clients, we are suggesting, you know, anti-inflammatories, antioxidants. So mushrooms have all these properties. So let's have a look at some of the active components of mushrooms. So beta-glucans, for example, are water-soluble polysaccharides, and these are active compounds and have very strong immune modulating effects. They've been shown to activate leukocytes, stimulate tumor necrosis factor, and lower nuclear kappa B factor. Other compounds like triterpenes can offer DNA protection against radiation, for example, are cytotoxic to cancer cells, and again strengthen our immune system. They can tonify liver, balance hormones, improve our digestion. They're anti-aging, anti-inflammatory. For example, in the reishi mushrooms, we have found so far more than 140 different triterpenes. Mushrooms also have vitamins and minerals. Some of the vitamins, vitamin D, that's not, you can't really find vitamin D sources from the plant kingdom, but mushrooms have ergosterol, and exposed to sunlight, they will produce vitamin D. You can now even buy supermarket mushrooms with vitamin D in them, but it's very simple. You know, if in summer, if you put your mushrooms out in the sunshine, they will actually produce vitamin D. So mushrooms can become a source of vitamin D for you. Shiitake mushrooms, for example, also have B12. That's another vitamin that is difficult to get from plant-based sources. And of course, as other plants, fiber is mushrooms are very rich in fiber, especially mushroom lion's mane. That is an incredible prebiotic, and we'll talk about it a bit more later on. So, but what we want to talk about today is really stress and the effect of stress on your health. And I'm sure as practitioners, you are always talking about stress to your clients, and you're always assessing the stress in their life, and you are always teaching them how to deal with stress. So we have two different types of stress. We've got a fight or flight, the acute stress. So this really is your reaction to immediate threats. We always talk about the saber-toothed tiger, but this type of stress, really, this type of stress response is here to preserve life. So when faced with immediate stress, you activate your autonomic nervous system, and you release stress hormones such as cortisol and catecholamines. So this results in your body increasing heart rate, increasing breathing, in order to pump more oxygen around the body. Liver releases glucose from stores for energy. That's why we call it fight or flight. Your body gets ready to sort of either fight or flight the situation. But also your body will decrease all the functions that are not needed for immediate survival. So digestion, for example, is sort of down-regulated. Nowadays, we are more likely to be faced with chronic, ongoing stress. And this stress just kind of trickles, you know, it's there, it's in the background, but it still leads to cortisol release, and it's a continuous cortisol release. And we have many different triggers for this prolonged stress. So external causes like work and life stress, but also internal causes of stress, so fear and uncertainty. We expect too much from ourselves. You know, we live in sort of we're juggling too many things at the same time, you know, work and family. And at the moment, you know, during the festive season, I think we put far too much onto ourselves. So this really results in chronic ongoing stress. So the common symptoms of stress are low energy, headaches, migraines, lots of gut symptoms, so diarrhea, constipation or nausea. Some people experience chest pain and palpitations. Insomnia is a very common one. Frequent colds and infections, and also anxiety, depression and irritability. And when you look at the list of these symptoms, I'm sure that you see clients coming to see you and they list at least 3 or 4 of these symptoms. I would say that I've seen most of these symptoms within the last 2 weeks of my clients. So how can stress affect your health? Well, when we are under stress, we increase our susceptibility to infection, and this is because of our immune system being basically down-regulated. I've already mentioned the gastrointestinal issues, and we all have had clients whose IBS or IBD are triggered by stress, or they're driven by stress. Skin complaints such as eczema, sleep disorders, neurological disorders, but even heart disease and some cancers. So with the acute stress, we're actually enhancing our antiviral defense, and cortisol release initially is actually anti-inflammatory. But once you start seeing sort of chronic cortisol release, chronic stress or prolonged stress, not this intermittent reaction, this leads to chronic stress will lead to chronic activation of the HPA axis, and this can lead to glucocorticoid resistance. So really the best analogy to give you is when you get cold callers coming to your door and they keep knocking on your door, you stop answering, and that really happens with our immune cells. The immune cells sort of become less sensitive to the cortisol, they become resistant, and this really results in increased inflammation, and inflammation is an underlying factor and driver for so many conditions. So increased inflammation due to glucocorticoid resistance. We also see reduction in antiviral defense. Your oxidative stress is accelerated. There's increase in inflammation. This also leads to the imbalance in Th2 and Th1 cells, and this is known trigger or driver of autoimmunity. And as practitioners, we always talk to our clients about their childhood, and actually it's been shown that early stress in childhood can increase interleukin-6 production in adulthood. So it's always important to say what is driving inflammation. It can be stress, it could be childhood trauma. So some of the conditions that are associated with this altered glucocorticoid sensitivity, anxiety and depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, asthma and eczema are so often triggered by stress. Rheumatoid arthritis, also related to stress response, cardiovascular disease, inflammation, oxidation, and we've seen all these are increased when you are experiencing stress. Inflammatory bowel disease, your ulcerative colitis and Crohn's, but also IBS is for many people stress related. Autoimmune disease due to the imbalance of Th1 and Th2 cells. Some cancers, again, the driver can be here the oxidation and inflammation. And we also see metabolic syndrome, so fat accumulation. So really the chronic low-level stress keeps the HPA axis activated, much like motor that is idling too high for too long. And after a while, it has an effect on the body that just contributes to health problems. And these health problems we see so commonly in our clinics. So what about the gut-brain axis alteration? So as you know, your gut communicates with your brain. So the gut-brain axis really describes the communication between the central and the enteric nervous system. And this communication links the gut and the brain, and recent advances actually in research have shown that our gut bacteria influences these interactions between your gut and brain. And stress has effects on your gut, and stress can have effects on your gut bacteria. It can actually alter the gut bacteria. It can lead to dysbiosis. So it's like a catch-22 really. You have stress will induce dysbiosis, and then dysbiosis will disrupt the gut-brain axis communication. So this is where stress and gut health are so well linked. So if your gut-brain axis, if there's alteration, if the communication is not quite up to scratch, here we see the IBS, IBDs, but also food intolerances and sensitivities due to the changes of intestinal permeability. We all know that peptic ulcers are so often caused by stress, and also GERD. So stress has effect on the gut motility. It could either make it much slower or actually faster. So you've got, you can experience both diarrhea or constipation. There is change in the gastrointestinal secretions. So your enzymes and your stomach acid, their production may be impaired. So this will have impact on the overall digestion. And as I already mentioned, intestinal permeability and gut mucosa. So your tight junctions may be disrupted. And there you can experience sort of leakage of proteins or even bacteria material into your bloodstream, causing intolerances, food sensitivities. And you know, it's a cascade. When you see clients with leaky gut, they may start with one sensitivity, and it kind of snowballs into multiple sensitivities. So, and it's always important really to look at stress as one of the drivers, especially here with relation to the gut bacteria and to the gut mucosa. So when it comes to our seasonal stress, I mean, we are close to Christmas, the festive season is in full swing. And so I think we're all feeling a bit more stressed. We're feeling more pressure. We're trying to finish what we need for our jobs, and also organize our family presents and Christmas dinner. And actually, in a recent survey in the United States, 38% of people reported that their stress increases over the holidays. Whilst we're all looking forward to holidays and taking some time off, it also can come with a lot of stress and with stress increase. Women especially feel the stress more. From the survey, it showed that 41% men felt that they could relax during holidays, but only 27% women felt that they could do that. And sometimes the way we relax during holidays, we turn to food and we turn to alcohol. So not the two most healthy releases, because generally the food we turn to, it won't be kale, but it's more likely to be mince pies and other high sugar, high fat treats. So you're not only putting, you're not only feeling stress, but also you're putting pressure on your liver and heart and digestion. But what comes with stress is the downgraded immune response. So we experience colds and flus more often, and also stomach bugs. I'm sure you've all experienced stomach bug or flu around holidays. Lack of sleep. Definitely everybody's experiencing lack of sleep, adrenal stress and fatigue. We are worried that we are not managing everything perfectly as we would like to. Some people also have seasonal affective disorder, so they feel low or depressed, and it may be the lack of vitamin D, but you know, it's also the early early darkness and the weather, like it's absolutely pouring down here at the moment, and it's easy to feel low with weather like that. And we overindulge, so alcohol will also bring an immune response down. So it's not only the stress itself, but also the foods and drinks that we may be having around the holidays. So what I really want to show you is how you can use medicinal mushrooms to help you fight these bugs, colds and flus or stomach bugs, and get some more energy and feel better during the holidays. So let's have a look at the mushrooms and how can medicinal mushrooms help. So the first one I want to talk about is reishi mushroom, also known as Ganoderma lucidum, or the mushroom of immortality. Reishi is also known as Lindsay in China, and the Chinese name Lindsay represents immortality, and this mushroom is regarded as the herb of spiritual potency. It symbolizes success, well-being, divine power and longevity. So reishi has, as I said, we've found 140 different triterpenes in it already. So it's a mushroom with so many potent active compounds. It's well known as an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory mushrooms. It actually can help protect cells from oxidative damage, which of course is likely to decrease risk of various mutations, carcinogenesis. So it can help prevent various chronic diseases, even cancer. It protects immune cells, enables them to exert their function as they're supposed to. So it actually potentiates these cells. And these polysaccharides and polysaccharide peptides have been actually found to have similar effect to superoxide dismutase, which is our endogenous antioxidants. And these antioxidants are effective in protecting immune cells from oxidation. So we've seen a very strong antioxidant activity in vitro with mushrooms like reishi, but most of the mushrooms, or all of the mushrooms, will have antioxidant properties. So Ganoderma is an amazing tonic for your nervous system. The triterpenes have a calming effect. Some studies show they have pretty much a hypnotic effect on your nervous system. They have been used in China as a Shen tonic by Taoist monks. So it's a herb that's been always known to nourish the spirit. And it's an amazing mushroom to use for insomnia, or if you struggle with sleep, if you struggle to fall asleep. It can not only help you to get to sleep, but it can help to increase the length of sleep. It can help to improve symptoms of depression and anxiety, but also improve focus. So reishi mushroom is an adaptogen, so it supports and balances endocrine and hormonal systems in the body. And as you know, hormones are powerful substances that control mood, perception, also your sleep-wake cycles. So hormones, balancing hormones is also really important when we're talking about nervous system. Now, when we talked about stress and the effect on immune system, we said that immune system is downregulated. So this is where reishi mushroom can be really, really helpful. It's a powerful antiviral and antibacterial. So it's been shown to have antiviral and antibacterial effect on several different species. So we've got some gram-positive and gram-negative species of bacteria here, and also viruses. And I've been using reishi. My daughter's been taking reishi, and I must say that this winter season, she has hardly suffered with any colds, and if she has seemed to come down with a cold, it pretty much was gone within a day or two. It's an absolutely amazing mushroom if you want to get through the winter season without, you know, the dreaded cold or flu. So this is my favorite mushroom of them all, a Hericium arenaceus, or lion's mane. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful mushroom that looks like a cross between an octopus and a brain, and it's absolutely beautiful. This is one I use myself. It's absolutely amazing for your nervous system. The hericinons and arenaceans in the lion's mane mushrooms actually pass blood-brain barrier. So they have effect right in your brain, effect on your nervous system. They can stimulate nerve growth factor. I mean, this is a mushroom that is used to prevent cognitive decline or reduce symptoms of cognitive decline in Alzheimer's. It can also help reduce anxiety, improve concentration, and it's a powerful antioxidant. So all the mushrooms, all of the mushrooms are amazing antioxidants, and we always talk about oxidative stress as a driver to so many conditions and so many chronic diseases. So all of your mushrooms will help you prevent oxidative stress, and the lion's mane can actually do it in your brain, and it's neuroprotective. It has neuroprotective effect against hydroxyl radicals. And it has shown potential in treatment of anxiety and depression. That was a recent study involving menopausal women. So the mushroom reduced depression and anxiety by some mechanism other than the nerve growth factor. So this is something that needs to be studied further. But the effects were particularly strong in lowering anxiety, reducing feelings of irritation, and enhancing concentration. So definitely mushroom to have a look at if you have any of those feelings. It's amazing in improving concentration, anxiety, also improving memory. Well, we talked about stress and effect of stress on your gut. And lion's mane not only works in your brain, but it is an absolutely amazing mushroom for your gut. It can help regenerate the intestinal epithelium. It's been also shown to prevent ulcer formation, and we said ulcers are related to stress, your peptic ulcer. So lion's mane can actually help prevent the formation of those ulcers. And it is a prebiotic. It supports healthy gut flora. I have actually started to use lion's mane mushroom in my gut healing protocols rather than glutamine, because glutamine, that is a lot of evidence now showing that it can stimulate cancer cell growth, whereas lion's mane will do pretty much the same, it has the same effect on your gut, the healing effect on your gut, but it will also have anti-cancer properties. So I see it as a much safer, and yeah, it's a much safer mushroom, but it's also very effective. Now, this is one mushroom that I think lots of people have heard about, Cordyceps sinensis. So Cordyceps in the wild, actually, and it's close to extinction. It's one of the mushrooms that actually is becoming very rare. But in the wild, it is a parasitic mushroom, and it will grow on a caterpillar. But at Hifas, we don't use the fruiting bodies. We don't have any caterpillars, but we use the mycelium that has very much the same properties as the fruiting body of the mushroom. So Cordyceps is a mushroom that's used for energy, and is anti-fatigue, anti-stress, and it's again an adaptogen. And in China has been used to speed up recovery from exhaustion. And this is because it increases energy metabolism, it actually is involved in the ATP production, and this way it can decrease fatigue. It has been shown to increase exercise endurance and upregulate your muscles, metabolic regulation, and also has antioxidant properties. It helps you utilize oxygen more efficiently, and it leads to increased energy. And this is one we have been using with athletes. We have at the moment a bodybuilder, natural bodybuilder, using cordyceps in her program, and she has found it so helpful. It increases her energy, she can exercise for longer, and she actually has been recovering much better. And she told me that even though she had a stomach bug, thanks to cordyceps, she could still train even though she wasn't feeling quite well. So absolutely an amazing mushroom for improved energy and for endurance. So the other benefit of cordyceps, and this is something that I really didn't know until recently, is its effect on our gut health. It's not only mushroom that's used for energy, but it can actually stimulate our gastrointestinal associated lymphoid tissue, as we know it as GALT. So as you know, your gastrointestinal tract is not only the place for digestion and uptake of nutrients, but it really is your first port of call when it comes to pathogens. It's your first line defense. So cordyceps have been shown to improve the function of your GALT. And this is because it can stimulate the macrophages. It has been shown to stimulate the activity of macrophages, but also increases production of IgA at your mucosal surfaces. So it promotes anti-inflammatory environment, and this leads to the neutralization of antigens. So really, cordyceps' effect on innate immunity and on adaptive immunity. So another mushroom really to use if you are struggling with stress. This is a mushroom to protect yourself from pathogens, and it will work in your gut by stimulating your gastrointestinal associated lymphoid tissue. It will stimulate the macrophages. It will stimulate your first line defense. So how do we use mycotherapy in practice? Well, you need to really look at your clients' needs, and choose the right product for your clients. And that's why at Hifas we have products of various strengths that will suit your needs and suit your clients' needs. We have individual mushrooms or blends of mushrooms, and also we have syrups for small children. The three mushrooms that I chose today were really related to the stress, to the conditions we were talking about today. But of course, there's a whole host of other mushrooms that we use in Hifas. And if you are not very confident using them, our team is always here to help you and really guide you through the protocols. So understanding the concentration levels, I mean, when we look at our products, the mushroom extracts are the most powerful extracts on the market. It takes 60 kilos of mushrooms to create 15 kilos of the mushroom powder. And from that, you get 1 kilo of the extract. So our mushroom extracts, those will be used really in acute conditions. Those are our strongest supplements. Then we also have our mushroom powders and our superfoods, and also sort of the mid-step where we have a mix of the extract and powder. Now, we always recommend to use ascorbato with the mushrooms. This is for the best results, because you get the best results if you use ascorbato. it will increase the absorption rate of beta glucans for up to 40%. So it makes the mushrooms more bioavailable. So the way we recommend using ascorbato is you take your ascorbato tablets on empty stomach and wait about 5 minutes and then take mushrooms, and this will increase the bioavailability of the mushroom and give you the best results possible. So let's have a look at these protocols. So for seasonal infections, we would really recommend the Myco-5. So if you have an acute infection, using Myco-5, 1 tablet in the morning and 1 tablet in 1 capsule in the evening, and this always is preceded with the ascorbato. You get more out of the mushrooms that way. So Myco-5 is a blend of 5 mushrooms, and it will support your immunity. It will help you fight the flu or cold that you might be experiencing much more efficiently. The bioviral is more of a preventative, so that's something you can take throughout the winter season, and it will help you sort of strengthen your immune system and hopefully prevent any colds or flus. Now, a stress protocol. We've got the Myco-Ray and Myco-Cord. So Myco-Ray from reishi. As we said, reishi is really tonic for your nerves. And here we're recommending taking 1 in the morning and then 1 in the evening. And we've also recommended cordyceps. So cordyceps will give you energy, but we recommend to take the cordyceps in the afternoon rather than in the evening, because it can give you so much energy that it could keep you up all night. So that would really counteract what you want to happen. So your cordyceps would be taken last at about 3 o'clock. I wouldn't recommend taking it past 3 o'clock. And if you have any gut problems that are associated with the stress, Myco-Leo is absolutely amazing here. I would be using Myco-Leo to support your gut flora, to support your gut mucosa, to sort of help to heal the gut, to help to protect your gut lining. And don't forget, again, taking ascorbato with these mushrooms will enhance the absorption. Now, for insomnia, we would recommend Myco-Ray here, and we said it can help you fall asleep. It can also help increase your sleep. So Myco-Ray is definitely the mushroom for any sleep problems, and again, taken with the ascorbato. We also have a lovely reishi tea, so that's something you can also use alongside. It's a lovely calming tea. Now we haven't forgotten children's. We have children's formulas. We have our Dr. Ray and Dr. Leo. Now these are dosed as 0.5 milligrams per kilo of weight. And so I can tell you from my own experience, they are absolutely fantastic. My children are a bit too old to take Dr. Ray, but my sister-in-law has 2-year-old twins, and you can imagine twins are sort of giving each other colds, and one of them was premature, so she's really struggling when she gets a cold. Colds take hold of her, and she has them for sort of 2 weeks. So I've given them Dr. Ray, and my sister-in-law called me and says, please can you get me 4 more bottles, because they are working absolutely amazingly. She says the colds have pretty much diminished, and if they have a cold, they're gone in 1 or 2 days. So absolutely amazing products. And of course, Dr. Leo, again, you can use that for gut support, also nervous system support. So our products, you can use our products for children, and this is by age. I would also say, look at their weight and height, because my son at 12 years old was as tall as me, so he could use the extracts. So always, you can always contact us, and we will help you decide which product is the best one for your client. So why Hifas Terra? Why our products? Well, Hifas Terra is, up to me, absolutely amazing company. I have been to Spain to see the production, and there are so many checks and balances going into these products. They are GMP certified, so they are of the highest quality to pharmaceutical standards. What is very important is that the mushrooms are organic, because mushrooms are like sponges. They will really soak up any pollutants. They have been used to sort of clean soil. So if your mushrooms are grown in an area where there's lots of pollution, they will take the pollutants on, and then you will be putting them into your body. So if you are eating mushrooms, if you are using mushroom supplements, make sure they are organic, because that way you know that you are getting just the mushroom, just their amazing properties, and nothing else. So our mushrooms are grown in Galicia in northwest Spain, and the conditions are absolutely perfect for mushrooms. You get the heat, you get the rain. So they are grown naturally, they're grown on hardwood logs. And these mushrooms, the way they are cultivated, the way they are processed, really ensures that we have the highest concentration of the active ingredients and the amino acids, enzymes, and also the vitamins and minerals in these mushrooms. So we preserved all the goodness in these mushrooms. So the cultivation, again, as I said, it's all done very carefully, making sure that we preserve the mushroom, that they are raw organic mushrooms, and the quality is the highest really I've seen. And for you as practitioners, the important thing is that our products do not interact with medication, so you can use them safely with medications. You can use them safely alongside chemotherapy, for example. So we're always looking at contraindications, but our mushrooms are safe to use. We also have the Myco Care line. This is an amazing, highly concentrated product that is absolutely fantastic for cancer support. And if you want more information on this, we will have a series of webinars that will be especially on cancer support. And as it's Christmas, we've got some lovely natural skincare products. So if you still haven't bought your Christmas presents, you can have a look at our lovely products, the soaps and creams, and also our food products such as the teas and others. So if you haven't signed up for our practitioner, as a practitioner with us, I would recommend you do this. You can receive full support from our team, so free mycotherapy consultations with client protocol guidelines. As I said, you can always call us if you have any questions about your clients. We will answer them. We will come up with protocols. You get free training sessions, so we will meet you one-to-one, and either on Skype or as suits you. And there's access to latest research on medicinal mushrooms. We are happy to send you any research if you need it, and we also can provide our data sheets on the mushrooms. So, and you of course get a practitioner discount. So thank you very much for your attention. And now I understand we've got some questions, so I will put my camera on. Okay. How old is my daughter taking reishi? Okay, she's 12 actually. She's 12 and she's been taking reishi since July. I've been giving her just one tablet of the extracts, and yeah, it just worked absolutely amazing for her. So we've seen amazing results. She hasn't had sort of colds and flus as she sometimes has. Okay, is it recommended to take combination, reishi and lion's mane, or just concentrate on one at a time? It really depends on the condition, on the reason, why are you taking them. So sometimes we will use protocol that combines several mushrooms, other times we will be using just one of them. So it really depends on the individual case. Are medicinal mushrooms recommended for autoimmune conditions? And if so, any particular mushrooms? Yes, we have protocols for autoimmune conditions. So anything like Hashimoto's or rheumatoid arthritis, we've got amazing results with rheumatoid arthritis and mushrooms. So mycorrhiza and mycosol will be used especially. So mycorrhiza being anti-inflammatory, and also immunomodulating, and mycosol is immunomodulating and help balance your Th1 and Th2 cells. So definitely I would say yes to using mushrooms for autoimmune protocols. Can students register for an account with Hifas? Yes, of course, students definitely can register. So you need to send us documents showing that you are studying. So you registered with the college and you will enjoy all the advantages that practitioners have. So yes, please do send us an email and we'll send you all the information that we need from you. There is also, once you register as a practitioner, you can also join our online group, on our Facebook group, where we aim to discuss clients' cases, and we can support you there. We can have discussions about mycotherapy, so you learn a bit more from there. So that's something you can do. Once you register, just ask to join the group, and we will join you in. So it's a lovely community, and you will learn more about mushrooms and become really confident using them. Now we also have a question here. Which is best form to administer mushroom? Do you supplement food powder if someone is taking antihypertensive? Any contraindications to be aware of? So if someone is on antihypertensives, we would always recommend to take it as an extract form, because we want to solve and reduce the blood pressure, and therapeutic levels are necessary. So you really want the strongest extracts to do this. So powder and food would not solve it as effectively. So reishi and shiitake would be the mushrooms to use here. You could also use the mycomix supplement, which is a blend of reishi, shiitake, and maitake. And because these mushrooms are so pure, the mycomix supplement has no contraindications and can be taken alongside any of the medications to reduce blood pressure. So the only contraindications for our mushroom really is if you have an allergy. So if you don't have an allergy, you will be safe taking our mushrooms. And as we said, they are safe alongside medication. So just feel confident about using them. We have seen some absolutely amazing results with mushrooms in our practice. We had a lady who contacted us very recently. She has 2 grown children who have been diagnosed, both of them diagnosed with a genetic disease. This genetic disorder basically is a sensitivity to sunlight, and their skin burns in sun, and it's a progressive disease, also with increased risk of skin cancer. And the progressive part of the disease, you can use eyesight, you can use hearing, and there's cognitive decline. And she felt very desperate, to get some help. She felt like there is no hope. And she found the lion's mane mushroom online. So she ordered the lion's mane mushroom. And she said after just taking the lion's mane for 3 months, her children have seen improved symptoms. And this is a condition where you're only told to really use sun cream and protect yourself from sun. So she's told us, I didn't think I had hope, but now I know there is we have mushrooms, and I have hope for my children. So that was really amazing, and we hear so many stories like this. So really feel confident, use the mushrooms, sign up to our group, because we will discuss cases and we will discuss, you know, the mushrooms and how to use them, and you will gain confidence. Do we have any other questions? Okay, would cordyceps help with chronic fatigue? Yes, actually, it definitely would. I'm using cordyceps. I'm actually using the Myco 5 with my chronic fatigue clients, because there's more to chronic fatigue than just really looking at the energy. So we're supporting them, you know, on also their gut and inflammation, but definitely the cordyceps has to be part of the protocol. Is the tablet suitable for 7-year-olds? Well, if you can get your 7-year-old to take tablets, yes, you can definitely use them. You would be using sort of the smaller, lower dose ones, but you know, the syrups are very effective too. So it really depends on your child. You know, my daughter's quite happy to take the capsules, but you know, if your child is not quite confident swallowing tablets, then definitely you can use the syrup. And okay, we've discussed the autoimmune conditions. Which mushrooms do you recommend for psoriasis? So we'll be looking at the mycorrhiza. As I said, it's an anti-inflammatory mushroom, so to reduce inflammation. But also for any skin conditions, you can also use the creams that we have with the reishi. So I would use the reishi internally as a capsule, but also would recommend using our reishi creams, because they are, again, very anti-inflammatory, very effective. So you are healing from inside and out. So is that all for the questions? We will send you the answers. We'll send you an email with the answers, and also we'll send you the recording. And thank you very much for joining our webinar today. I hope you learned something about mushrooms, and I hope you will feel confident using them. So if there are no questions, we'll sign off, but I wanted to let you know also we are planning a lot more webinars for next year. So we have a whole list of webinars, so please register with us so you find out about all these upcoming events. We also are planning an event in January in London. Our founder Catalina is coming to London, so there will be an event planned, and we will let you know the details as soon as we know them. So thank you very much. I'm glad this was my first webinar, so thank you for your patience, and thank you very much for your attention.